Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. And Steelhunter arrived this week. It's effectively Battle Royale inside World of Tanks. It's 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. There's 20 players all trying to kill each other inside a single game of World of Tanks. Today I'm going to be giving you lots of tips and tricks of the Steelhunter game mode, letting you quickly know the rewards, what I think about the different vehicles, and showing you one of my better rounds so far during the event. So I've actually managed to finish this on both of my accounts. I got to rank 15. It took me about 4 hours on each account. Although I am winning probably about 1 in 3 games that I do manage to sign up to play. And hopefully I'm going to be sharing with you some of the information that has been helping me to be able to achieve those kind of results. So Steelhunter, what can you get from this game mode? Well, obviously a lot of people are playing this to be able to get the extra tokens, to be able to either get the Charfu Tier 4 or to be able to get the Object 777 version 2. You're able to get one of these vehicles by completing Frontline, and Steelhunter is going to be around for 1 week for the next 4 months to be able to get the additional tank, or to be able to get those extra tokens if you didn't quite manage to play Frontline enough. This is your opportunity to either get your first tank or to be able to add this second one to your garage. There are also other little bits of rewards that you can get for managing to progress through the different stages. You can see from ranks 2 to 4, you can get for yourself 50,000 credits and 15 bonds. At rank 5, you get yourself one of those points that you need to be able to unlock the vehicles, another 50,000 credits. Rank 6 to 9, 100,000 credits. So all in all, it looks like there's about a million credits to be able to get for playing this game mode. Now, that's not exactly very good, considering how long it is going to be able to take you to be able to get there. Even if you're an exceptional player, it's going to take 4 hours. So 1 million credits for 4 hours, yeah, I think that Wargaming should have made this a little bit more lucrative, and I think that it should have made it a little bit harder to be able to get through. Personally, I would have enjoyed it, but I understand that this is not everybody's cup of tea, and they probably wanted to make the requirements a little bit lower. There's also a style that you can manage to get yourself, the Shield of Artemis style, which I actually have already put on my mouse. I think it is very fetching. Hopefully you're going to think so too if you want to be able to play this game mode to be able to get this. I think it's pretty decent enough looking. So there are 5 different vehicles to pick for Steelhunter. I'm literally going to give you like 10 20-second rundowns of each of the vehicles. This is the Valkyrie. This is the German heavy tank. I do recommend to play this thing by buffing up the alpha damage of it. The damage per shot and the hit points mean that you can literally just be this absolute behemoth to be able to engage your opponents towards the latter part of the battle. The Raven, I personally like to play this without the autoloader, although I've seen a lot of people have success playing the Raven with the autoloader. I like to play it with the damage, not the damage per shot, I like to play it with the loading speed and just overwhelm my opponents with a huge rate of fire towards the end of the battle, combined with one of its module upgrades, which basically means that they just can't move. The trap, as it's called, it's incredibly powerful. It's probably the best 1v1 tank pure if you have a trap. But if you don't have a trap, then I don't think it's as good as the British vehicle, the Harbinger. The Harbinger, again, I like to play this with the single shotgun. Irrelevant of how you choose to play this vehicle, I don't recommend the auto reloader. I'd probably recommend the damage per shot instead. Although, personally for me, I liked getting mobility on the Harbinger, and that rate of fire was truly impressive to be able to obliterate my opponents towards the latter part. So now this is the Varyag. The Varyag is the Soviet vehicle. There is an option to take a double barrel gun on this vehicle. I thoroughly don't recommend that you take the double barrel gun. It feels very awkward as it is, although Wargaming might buff it in future iterations of the Steelhunter. I personally prefer to take the damage per shot on my heavy tanks to really punish my opponents, although you could get away with the loading speed as well, but I would avoid the double barrels. And finally, there is the Harlequin. This vehicle is the only light tank truly available inside the game mode. I personally like to play this thing with the 10-round anti-tank machine gun, as they call it. It's able to fire 10 105mm rounds inside 5 seconds. It's absolutely brutal, and you'll be doing 1,000 damage per magazine and just overwhelm your opponents with immense rate of fire. Although you can play with the high explosive gun as well if you want, only if you're able to really get up towards the weak points of your opponents would I ever recommend using that one. And so those are the vehicles. Let's get stuck into some gameplay, and I'll give you my tips and tricks for it. Although, I will warn you that there's no way to record replays of the Steelhunter game mode, so you're going to be watching a stream from Twitch, and I'm going to be adding commentary over. I'm not some kind of ventriloquist who's going to be able to speak without moving their mouth. Okay, so here we go, ventriloquist baby in the house. Alright, so when you're loading into Steelhunter, the first thing that you have to do is decide about which drop zone you're going to venture forth towards. I personally like if I'm playing the faster tanks, like the light vehicle, the French light tank, I want to try and control the middle of the map. When I'm playing the French light tank, I don't really want to fight early on in the battle, unless I have to. Although, maybe I'm going to do something a little bit different inside this game. Let's try. One thing that's important is to really...
Okay, en français, s'il vous plaît.
I'm going to
Allons-y.
interrupt myself so much during this video, it's going to absolutely annoy me massively.
Do not underestimate my power, she says. She Darth Vader.
Yeah, that was really funny. Well done, funny baby. Anyway, so what did I say? To not go and fight and look at the first thing that I'm doing. But when you get a spawn like this and you manage to get your opponent from behind, of course you've got to take it. You have to really try and make sure that you're careful with the rounds that you use. As you can see, I'm using the heat rounds here, which are actually the standard rounds on this tank. They do more damage, but they have lower penetration. So one of my biggest recommendations is to try and get the side, try to avoid shooting the spaced armor, and you will be picking apart your opponents faster. One of the biggest things the noob does inside this game mode is instead they just dab the 2 key, and they'll actually be doing less damage. God, can you believe if we'd had that inside World of Tanks right from the get-go and they could have balanced all of the vehicles around it? I don't think it's possible really to do that now. I don't think you can just nerf gold rounds now. Otherwise, it would just buff all of the heavy tanks in the game, and they really don't need buffing.
All right. We're in. The baguette claims a victim, Twitch.
So if you manage to get some early pressure, you get a lot of experience for getting a kill or just being able to do damage to your opponents. And really, it's the first 2 upgrades that are most important. On a vehicle like this, the first 2 upgrades actually allow you to, well, firstly get radio range, but the second one allows you to just be able to go faster. If you can try and snowball a game by getting an early kill against your opponents, then you can do some really wild stuff. This is a pretty cool moment. I'm actually using my airstrike here, and you can see, oh, goodbye. We're not messing around. Yeah, they did get absolutely smashed. So what you just saw there was us basically ramming him and then making sure...
Shunt and strike. Shunt and strike.
Exactly. It was a shunt and strike.
That's what it's about.
It is. That's what it was all about. So you've got to make sure you interlay your cool...
Shunt and strike, Twitch.
Yeah, I think we've got it now. Scrub Lord. All right, so it's really important to make sure you combine your shots with all of your abilities to be able to interlay them. If somebody's trying to take an objective, they will be able to take it.
Now I got a little autoloader. I got no health regen though.
If they haven't taken damage for about 4 to 5 seconds. So what you want to do is to make sure that you're being able to do damage in between all of the shots, and as you can see, he's now actually going to be able to get the airdrop. Why? Because I don't have an airstrike to be able to add it. And look, he gets so much of his health back. You only get health back from the greens and the airdrops, and you also get some health back from being able to pick up your opponent's, I guess, their wreck with the red. You don't actually get any health back from the ammunition drop, the yellow one, but you'll get 300 experience. The green ones give you 150, the yellow ones give you 300, so make sure you use that.
Yeah, damn, he wasted my power ability. Did you see that? He used his berserker just before.
Yep, so you only get your 6 consumable from either getting kills and getting lucky or getting them inside the airdrop as well. And unfortunately for me, that player used the berserker buff, which would be my 6 consumable.
Oh, I got a fireball.
Before I was able to shut them down. So they just...
This guy can't run from me.
Wasted my fireball.
Unless I drive like a donkey.
That's what I was trying to suggest, is that they wasted my upgrade. So you can see that I'm trying to focus the high health tank here. Sure, I guess I could have confirmed a kill by killing the player who was on low health, but I think it's more important for me. You see, look, you see I'm trying to interlay everything. Now we're going to have the fireball come down, and it should stop him with the damage, and that will allow me to reload it. It also forces him to get out the cap circle. And yeah, the fireball is absolutely... Yeah, the fireball's pretty wild.
I blocked him and a big ball of fire just came up his butt. Dude, what the hell was that, man? All right, 4 kills in the Frenchie. Let's go, Twitch.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty happy about this at the time, because obviously only 8 players have died inside the game, and I got half of all of the kills. But the thing is that by...
I'm maximum tier already. Let's go.
So now
Let's get these players.
Now we're max tier, and we have a 10-round autoloader in the French. If you're a good player and you love your light tanks, honestly, what you're able to do with this
rounds for a second
is just absolutely disgraceful. So you see that I'm actually going to kill Steel here, but why wouldn't I? I get experience and I get a kill,
some experience,
and then that allows me to come in after the other tank. And oh, look at this! This is just multi laughing quacky babies. I can only imagine what that sounds like. Yeah,
oh man, if you can get ahead in the Frenchie, it's disgusting actually.
It is actually disgusting what you can do if you can get ahead in the Frenchie, and this is what snowballing is.
If you can get ahead in the Frenchie, it's pretty filthy, Twitch.
It's absolutely filthy, we get that. But snowballing inside the French light tank is incredibly powerful, because if you can get this autoloader early, you can just do some absolutely outrageous things. And the fact that the Frenchie actually has 2 damaging abilities as well. Their 5 is an airstrike, which stuns, but also does significant damage, especially to lightly armored vehicles.
Oh, he actually.
But here we go. Here's the trap. This is actually could be a nightmare for me. So I'm dropping both of my consumables. You can see that I've managed to slow him down. I drop the fireball on top.
Oh, I'm reloading.
And I've got now the most awkward reload. Okay, the next thing you see me doing is healing my tank. Now, one of the most important things to realize is that if you heal your vehicle and you take damage, it actually stops the heal altogether. That was clearly one of the better players in this game. He had every consumable. And remember what I
slam dunked.
Remember what I said about the Raven with the trap being completely overpowered, and I expect Wargaming.
How many heal things do we have, Twitch?
I'm probably going to nerf it a little bit.
I need another fireball for my next fight.
Yep, so you've obviously got to try and collect all of the consumables that you can. You can get yourself heals and repair packages from the greens, and you can also get the airstrikes for this tank, i.e. your 3, your 4, and your 5 key from the greens. But you can only get your 6 key. For this, it's the little bomb, the bombing run that chases them. You can only get that from securing kills or from airdrops. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a fireball here from the airdrop.
Okay, I got a fireball.
We do.
We go try and get the other.
Which is oh so important for the engagements. The fireballs and your 6 keys are really what allows you to win those all-ins.
I'll kill him.
So you can see that somebody's going for the airdrop here, and I don't want to let them have the airdrop. So what I'm going to do is fire 1 on the move. Going to drop my airstrike on. We're going to put our 2nd shell in. Now he's just locked in place, and he puts actually a healing thing down, which is impressive. Now he's trying to ram me with his speed boost, but we've managed to just get his side. So you can see that I'm actually saving that last shell, and I put it in and then I drop the fireball. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want him to be able to pick up the airstrike. You have to make sure that you time all of your moves. And another good player is going to go down. Those 2 good players that we just fought there, maybe they didn't have the full upgrades, but they did have all of the consumables and they were aggressive. They played pretty well, and they were what I would call honorable kills. Sometimes you're just playing against the puppies. Some people try to manage to progress in this game mode by literally just hiding in the corner and just hoping that somebody like me in this game is going to kill all of the other players, and then they can be one of the only 2 or 3 left, and they'll be able to get some substantial points. But the players that were actually fighting inside this game mode, they've obviously been picking up a few kills. They've obviously been collecting a few drops. They're powerful players too. This player as well is pretty much fully upgraded at this stage of the game with his German vehicle, and look, he gets a ram on the front of it. It's just absolutely awesome. I do love the way that the vehicles look as they do upgrade. Hopefully I can manage to get out of the way of that ram, otherwise I would be taking a disgusting amount of damage. And just look at this gun on the French light tank when you do get it fully upgraded. I actually managed to miss a few shots there, and he goes into the repair depot, so well played to him. I'm going to airstrike behind him where I hope he's going to reverse and turn. Oh, beautiful stuff there to lock him in place. And even though he's using his health consumable, even though he's using the AoE health consumable as well, it is not saving him. He's used every cooldown that his vehicle possibly had. We're trying to put some rounds into the back of his tank to try and knock down his engine. I'm hoping that he's already used his repair kit here, so he won't be able to do anything. And I know I could drop the fireball, but I really want to save it for another fight. You don't want to use your consumables unless you have to. You really got to hold on to them. They're your lifeblood to be able to win your engagements later on. If you use your consumables unnecessarily, you might not have them for those really tricky fights. So the game is all about trying to, early on, control all of the drops, as we're going to call them. And if you can manage to pick up a kill, then you should probably try and contest an airdrop. But if you don't manage to get a kill early and you haven't upgraded your vehicle at least to the stage 4 or the stage 5 mark where you start to get a hit points upgrade, I probably wouldn't contest the airdrop, because usually the more aggressive players are going to do so. However, if you can manage to get your upgrades up to about level 2 or level 3, and then you pick up a kill or a couple of kills to be able to get to 4 or 5, and you've done that early on in the game, then you should try to contest every single airdrop. I feel like that's the way that you're going to win.
I really want this.
Because the most powerful upgrades and the highest amount of experience come from the airdrops, and so if you're able to control them,
Oh, dude, it's the Soviet tank.
not only do you get stronger, but more importantly,
It's the Soviet tank.
you are denying the strength to your opponents.
Wonder if I should let them fight each other.
And so that's really what you've got to think about, that if you're not getting the airdrops, you're not getting the upgrades, and you're not securing the kills, there's another player inside the game who's going to be doing that. And while eventually everybody's going to be max level towards the latter part of the game, maybe not everybody will have those 5 and 6 consumables to really be able to take the fight to the enemy. And that's what you've got to try and control. So unfortunately for this player, he's managed to oh, this is just dirty.
Unfortunate that I just tracked you in the
Oh no, it's a bad word. Gonna have
That's
to
hilarious. I tracked him in the crap.
bleep it out. Bleep it out. Post-production, QuickyBaby. Hopefully I managed to bleep that out, possibly.
Oh, I've goofed.
Oh,
I'm dead.
I've completely goofed in this situation, though. We can see that the Varag has actually managed to get into a really strong position. And we're now in our 1 versus 1. We've got a lot of health consumables, though, so maybe I don't need to get fully engaged right now. Maybe what I can do is just relax a little bit.
I couldn't collect it.
Yeah, I couldn't manage to collect it because of the pressure that he was putting on me. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to avoid him. You can actually...
I got 1 airstrike.
Yep, go, make sure you...
I think I can go collect that airstrike before the zone closes.
Would be a good idea.
Is there any way to tell how quickly the zone's going to close?
Not really. Not that I've been able to, unless you can literally remember all of the different timers. I think the final area, it actually gives you about 2 minutes. So you don't need to panic. If you're in the yellow, sure, you want to be starting to think about pathing your way towards the grey parts.
Did I get the kill there, by the way? Oh, yeah, I've got 10 kills. Nice.
Otherwise, you're going to take a lot of damage when it goes red if you don't get out within 10 seconds. So it's not an emergency, especially if you're in one of the faster vehicles or you've teched up your vehicle in a fast way. Then you're going to be able to spend some time in the yellow and even some time in the red. And sometimes it's worth it.
We've got another fireball.
Just to be able to get that little bit of extra buff to be able to then win your 1 versus 1 engagement.
So what I want to try and do is wound him. He's camping over there. So what I want to try and do is wound him.
Yeah, if I can manage to take some of his hit points away early and maybe get him to burst some of his consumables, then I'll be able to go in.
He can just drive straight to it. He's so fortunate.
Yeah, he did get really lucky with the way
He's just going to drive straight to it, and I think I'll be able to get him in the butt now.
You can see that the final position is actually really close to his tank. If it hadn't been there and he had to drive across in the open, it would have been very favorable for me. That's quite awkward for when you're playing a light tank. But we just put a huge amount of damage into the vehicle. Now we're going to drop an airstrike on him. We're also dropping a fireball on him, so we've locked him in.
There's a minefield. Shoot, he got me.
Now I'm going to use my heal here, and I'm going to make sure I don't drive over any more of the mines.
Yeah, let's go! 11 kills in the Frenchie and my first victory in it. Woohoo! Boom, yeah, let's go. Oh, man, that was a good one. I enjoyed that. Finally, we broke the French curse. We broke the French curse, Twitch. Finally broke the French curse. Good Lord. Ah. Oh.
I think you can see.
Finally.
I was quite happy.
My God. Broke the French curse, ladies and gents.
So this was a cracking result. Nearly 16,000 damage dealt, and we destroyed 11 of the 19 players inside the game. If we were to transition that into some other kind of Battle Royale title where there's 100 players, that's kind of the equivalent of taking out probably about 50 or 55 of the 100 players. It's wild. I personally really loved this game mode, although I can understand why it wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea. My firm recommendations are to go with the recommended loadouts that I gave at the start of the video. Really, at least for my playstyle, and I've played the tanks a lot now, I really think those are some good starting points. And then if you feel like you want to make some customizations along the way, then so be it. All in all, try and control the points. Don't get yourself into unnecessary fights. If you see 2 people fighting, make sure you lower the hit points of the person who has the highest hit points, and then make sure you can control the drop that they make afterwards. Think about interlaying your cooldowns with your reloads to be able to interrupt people from collecting the drops. And if you do all of those things, then you are going to be getting enough wins to be able to progress through the game mode very quickly indeed, and you're going to get yourself one of those lovely tasty reward vehicles over the upcoming months. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. But if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And all that's left to do is to wish all of you an awesome weekend. Have a great time, whatever you get up to. And hopefully I'll see you towards the end of it for my Sunday video and also for the Tech Tree Showcase then. Yeah, catch you all later. Have a good one.